Hi everyone, Tony the pastor here. We just finished a wonderful Bible study here at the church on this Tuesday morning on the parable of the persistent woman. What's interesting is all of us going into this Bible study today, we had heard the parable, of course, but I don't think any of us had really thought about it being very weighty or having a whole lot of depth to it. Boy, were we wrong. And it was a wonderful Bible study. It's the gospel reading for this upcoming Sunday. If you're not quite as familiar with it, there's a woman that Jesus talks about. She's a widow, and of course that's not an easy task in that time, nor is being a woman, nor is being, well, shut out by the system, which she clearly is. There's an unjust judge in this town who doesn't fear God or love people, and she's trying to get her case before him, but he just won't hear her until finally she persists and she persists and she persists, and it cracks him. He says, fine, I'm just going to do it. Not because I'm a good person, but frankly, just because she's worn me down and I can't take it anymore. Jesus then shifts the focus. This is one of the shortest parables, but he then shifts the focus and gives a pretty full explanation. Imagine then if you, unlike the unjust judge, have a fair judge in God who is listening to you and listening to you cry out night and day in the midst of injustice. What will he do for you? But then he poses a very interesting question at the end. When the Son of Man returns, when Jesus comes back, will he find faith on the earth? And one of the messages that can be drawn from this parable, I think one of many, because like I said, it's actually much deeper than it might seem for just a few short verses, is we are in the midst of some sort of injustice. I think all of us, we are in the midst of some sort of suffering, or if not us personally, we understand that it happens in the world. And if that's going on, where is God in all of this? And it's fair for us to ask that question. And I think even in this parable, Jesus offers us the example that it's fair to keep calling on God in the midst of these sorts of things and calling on God for some sort of relief. And the promise is that God hears us, and the promise is that it will be fixed in God's time. But the task for us is we have to keep persisting. We have to keep trusting. Just like the woman, for whatever reason, continued to trust in the system and in the judge, and finally it worked out for her. We need to keep persisting, even in the midst of injustice and suffering, that the promises of God still hold true. That one day, in God's time, we will find that justice. And that is not an easy task.